What's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. And welcome to a new week. And we're starting the week off slightly green. Started off the morning a little bit red. Now we're green. I'm not sure if you kept an eye on the cryptocurrency market throughout the weekend. It was a really strange weekend on how the price action played out. We'll talk about that. We'll start here by taking a look at the total altcoin market cap. We'll, of course, peek over there at the Bitcoin price chart, the Ripple XRP price chart, and we'll actually peek over there at Ethereum because it is the largest altcoin in the altcoin market. But like I was mentioning, we started the day off a little bit red. Now we're back to green. If you weren't paying attention to the cryptocurrency market throughout the weekend, we were essentially spending the first 23 hours of each day, Saturday, and the first 23 hours of Sunday in red. And then in the final hours of each day, the market popped up much higher for the daily candle close. If we look at Bitcoin right here, and I just kind of zoom in on here, we were way down in here in the final hour of the day. Same thing happened for here. We were way down in here on the final hour of the day. Then as the day ended, we fired all the way up to close the candles out green. Now that was really interesting yesterday because yesterday was also the weekly candle close for the market. If we look at assets like XRP, in order to hold above its weekly candle closes over here, we had to close above that price there at 623 or 62.3 cents. But if we look at what happened in the last hour of the day, you can see that the weekly candle was well below there. However, in the final hour, it fired right on up through there in order to save the weekly candle close, in order for it to close above that price level. If you notice, the same thing even happened over here on Ethereum, trying to hold above this weekly support level. And there, right in that last hour, able to go back in there and reclaim it for the weekly candle to close out. But it was kind of the same story throughout the whole weekend, and I'm sure it was the same for all of you guys too. You're looking at your phone throughout the day, you're seeing red all day, and you may not have even noticed there in the last hour, each day flipped green at the very end. And it's curious to what type of price action we'll see here in these last few days, because, well, we have our monthly candle close that's showing up in 3 days, and that also is going to close out Q2. And if we're watching whatever market makers are out there trying to print these candles and get them to look the way they want at the very last second, well, what are we going to see here as we're wrapping up the month and we're wrapping up the quarter? Could prove to be that the next 3 days as we go into that moment, or at least that last day and the last hours of that day, will be quite volatile as the market tries to print what it wants to print at the last second. Because we just watched all these weekly candles throughout the whole crypto market get printed in the last hour of the week. But we'll take a look over here at the total altcoin market cap. I've been trying to get this video recorded all day today. This is coming out pretty late because I've had to run a bunch of different errands and stuff that I've had to do around the house while I'm trying to record. This is going to be like one of my later videos of the day. But anyway, looking here at the total altcoin market cap, still just holding that level, right? And in the end, the prices are still exactly where they were last week. So from a technical perspective, not a whole lot to say that has changed since last week, except that the candles didn't close bearishly, but they're still just kind of holding this level. My sentiment, my perspective on what's happening with the market remains exactly the same. That we've held this price level, just that it's kind of being grueling. Kind of like what we talked about last week on last Friday when we looked at the Bitcoin price chart comparing the corrections of what we saw happen in the correction that took place in August, September, and October of last year. That where the structures of these look the same with the 702 retracement pull down and then just going sideways grueling. And that now we've been stuck in this range and this boundary now for 7 days. Just the thing is, the last 3 days have been green, but the days prior to that were green and then one red kind of swallowed them, but still just stuck down in here. So we're looking for some type of breakout to happen in here. So as we're starting this new week, not a whole lot different to say if it's going to continue ranging throughout the week. I know that over the last couple of weeks, we've been talking a lot about sentiment, and who wants to start the week off by talking about sentiment? But I think it's important that we do point to it, at least, is that it's very obvious that that's what the sentiment is like by looking on Twitter and all that good stuff to understand that's where we're at, right? And you can see it is littered across the board for now, yesterday, last week, last month. But here's the good news, okay? So we'll look at it from this perspective as well. The last time we had extreme fear like this was back when C19 happened, when the market sold off. And here's the thing. When we were in the extreme fear last time, the world record on this chart for the longest it stayed in that extreme fear was 45 days. And guess what today is? Today is 44 days. So we've kind of reached that threshold on the maximum amount of time that it has forced the market participants to be in extreme pain. And while I'll look at that from an optimistic angle, from the chart perspective, I look at it optimistically because it's doing what I've seen happen many times. an all-time high gets broken out of after multiple years in here, backtest on the all-time high, breaks out higher, and then backtests into this region. We've seen that happen many, many times. So for me, that's structurally normal. What else is structurally normal is that when you get down to those support levels, that there's a big, huge emotional swing that happens at that same time, which we've had. And now it's just been going on for a long time, right? So everybody's kind of at their ends rope at this point and really kind of reaching that despondent phase. And then not only that, we've been stuck here for 6 days, right? So coming on here, there's not a whole lot different to say than there was last Friday in regards to price action, except that it was really weird price action over the weekend with the last hour of price action happening. And I think really the most interesting thing that'll show up here is what's going to happen in the next 3 days as we do get to the end of the month. But as for starting the week, I don't see much really happening in regards to breakouts on these coins. I'll look around a lot of the market to try to see is there any leader that's kind of telling the story. We haven't had that breakout yet on the altcoin market. Ethereum is teasing it like it's going to right now. But studying each of these individually, I really think we're all just kind of moving in a whole grander market cycle right now, waiting for it to start. But I did notice that Compound has suddenly led the way over here. This is the only one of the bigger coins that I've seen that have done this. This is listed over here on Coinbase. I don't own any Compound, but I did notice that this one was starting to break out already. And that's a positive sign. I'm always looking for leaders to tell the story. So here we go. There's one. When we come on here tomorrow, are we going to have more that can tell us a story that there's a few more that are starting to do it too? And as long as we start getting leaders, it can provide more optimism for the laggards because it's how this market usually works. It's not going to be all of them going at the same time. Usually a segment of them will go at the same time, but we can usually get kind of an indication of what's happening if there's some that will lead the way first. So there's the first one that I'm seeing starting to go ahead and do it and breaking up higher. It has already taken out the June 20th price level, which for the total market cap, that's right back on over here at 811 billion. So it's already taken out this area right over here for Compound. Is that going to be our leader? We'll look for more of them, and hopefully when we come back tomorrow, and maybe there's going to be a bunch of price action in the last hour of today like we have seen for the last several days. But as we can see, it did struggle up in here, eventually getting a very clear break up, which is what the altcoin market is doing right in here right now. It's really struggling at this price level, but still above it, still struggling. Hopefully when we come tomorrow, we can have some type of break and say that was it. But otherwise, I'll keep this one relatively brief. I've had a lot going on here. Sorry this thing got out so late, but these are the things I'm seeing happening in the market. Lots of price action coming in the final hour of the candles. We're still just range bound after 6 days. We do have a leader over there with Compound starting to lead the way. Hopefully the rest start to follow. And also we're reaching that max threshold of the longest amount of torture that this market has had to put people through before providing some type of relief. So hopefully we're right there with tomorrow being 45 days. Hopefully that's the end of it. Just know that if you're in that camp of this has just gone on way too long, I think everybody is feeling like that right now, including me. But all right, I will wrap this up. Hopefully tomorrow when we come back, we could say it did it, it got through. But we'll just have to wait until then. So I'll wrap this thing up. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you'd like, of course, you could check out my website, which is bcbacker.com. This is my course where I have deep dived into the previous Bitcoin bull runs, the different altcoin market cycles, tying them all together to show how the Bitcoin cycles have worked in the past, talking about mathematics and percentages and my personal exit plans. And I also teach you how to set up your own charts and indicators in TradingView and CoinTrader Pro over here on bcbacker.com. You could follow me over here on Twitter at bcbacker. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you had a wonderful weekend. We're on week 7 of going into this crazy time in this market. And any day now, things will get better. But all right, that's it. Thanks for watching. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.